I could not think of a better person to break everything that is going on around the league than a man who is a 4-time Pro Bowler, spent 8 seasons with the Raiders. Marcel Reece, how's your week been?
Not as busy as the NFL week. How about you, Kate?
I mean, you're covering it from all angles. I was saying, you're working on Saturday last week. I was in Wisconsin. I go, that's Marcel Reece on TV. I was so excited. Oh, hold on. I have to take my ear out because I was hearing things I shouldn't be hearing. Okay, let's just get right into it. Let's just get right into the Davante. We'll get to the Hackett-Downing thing, which you can speak to because you know Downing. Davante, what gives? What side are you on? Or what should happen?
No, it's always hard when you're in the middle of both and you have these personal relationships. But this is what I'll say, Kay. I've been on the both sides of these trade requests and demands, if you will. And there's 2 types of players that come into these situations. On one side, you have the player that is, a little bit scorned and they are against their team and they just want out. And on the other side, you have a player who loves and respects their team, but comes to the realization that he and the team are just in different places. And I think Davante is the latter, right? When you're Davante Adams and you're the best receiver in the NFL and whatever team you're on is an instant contender, you're just in a different spot than his team right now. And he is trying to make the right decision because he doesn't want to waste those years.
Do you think then things got murky yesterday, obviously, because you look at Derek, he's hurt, and that's the connection. Then you look at the tumult happening with the Jets. People are, I think it means the Jets needed more. I think the Raiders have more leverage than ever. Where should he go? Where's the best place for him to go get a ring?
As a Raider, I'm saying if I can't have you, no one can, right? But for Davante, as a friend of Davante, I think Davante needs to go somewhere. He needs to go somewhere where he's happy to play football
That's
again.
What I said.
The NFL is better, and the media is better when we're talking about Davante Adams throughout the month of January. He needs to be playing in the postseason. He needs to be competing in the postseason and competing for a Super Bowl.
Marcel, are you going to give me a team, or are you just going to dilly-dally? Are you going to just dance with me all morning? Give me a team.
I'm going to tell you this because I'm a little closer to the situation than I should be. But there's a couple teams. I think there's a sneaky team that a lot of people aren't talking about that could come in late. Last year when we were on this show together during the trade deadline, we predicted a trade as soon as we hung up. The Chase Young trade, we predicted it. As soon as we hung up, it happened. We can't do that again with Davante.
Are you saying we're going to get off the air and that trade's going to happen?
I think it's going to pick up here.
Okay, tell me this.
In the next few days.
Does in the next few days or weeks?
I'm going to say weeks.
Oh, shit. Really? What? Yes. I don't have time for this. What? Does the sneaky team rhyme with schmills? It does? Shoot, I'm so good. I'm so good.
No,
that was it, right?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh my gosh, does it rhyme with Schmau Boys? No. See? You're not making that same face.
Schmau Boys.
Yeah, Schmau Boys.
You're the sneaky one.
No, we all know that's true. No, why my computer's freaking out? I'm freaking out with this news. Well, because then Pierce came out and he did a great thing, and he said he's good when he's ready. Like I like what Pierce said, but I think it confused a lot of people. Is there a world Davante stays?
Listen, as a Raider, I want there to be a world where
as
Davante
Marcel
stays.
Reece, who knows what's going on? What are you doing?
I think there's always a way back.
Okay.
I just think that Davante's just not in a place where he wants to experiment with quarterbacks and offenses and production and success. There has to be a plan that lays out a clear path to stability for the Raiders right now, specifically on the offensive side of the football.
I went and I looked up. The reason I said Schmills is because there's an obvious need, back-to-back losses, all this. They've got a huge game against the Jets, team that needs to win a Super Bowl. You know, I went and I looked at Davante's agents, who I don't know, I've never met them. And I went and I'm like, who do they rep? And I couldn't find it, but I looked at their likes, and way down the likes. A woman knows everything. I went down and I saw that the agents or the agency repped Brandon Beane at one point, or they were liking stuff from Ben, and I was like, interesting. But that's all I know.
There's a lot of connections you can make in the NFL. And America, you're looking at a woman who does her homework.
Yeah, thank you. See, no man could ever cheat on me. Let me tell you that. Hamilton's texting me. We saw it with Debo after a trade. Yeah, there is always a way back. Debo wanted a trade, then they got it done, and I like how both sides. I hate, obviously how it's been played out and portrayed, but it seems like there is mutual respect there. I just hope it ends well, and I hope happiness for all of them. What do I need to know about Downing? Calling plays here.
I think he's a really good offensive mind. He's creative, and he can make things happen. He's grown a ton even since I was with him over in Seattle, and I'm really interested in to see what he does here moving forward with New York. I think he's a guy that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to respect as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes over.
You were part of you were part of two mid-year coaching changes that sparked. They worked. Bisaccia, and then, of course, last season with Antonio Pierce. How big of a spark can we expect with this change?
I was just a two as an executive. As a player, I was a part of even more when you have, Tom Cable jumping in for Lane Kiffin, and that works out. And you have, we had the Hugh Jackson deal that ended up working out well as well. And there's different ways to look at that situation, and it comes down to how much respect does that interim coach have in the locker room. And when you're in a locker room with a bunch of successful men, grown men, you just have to have the respect of that locker room, and guys will buy into what you're saying because you're not reinventing the wheel in the midseason. You're really just trying to take it, fix the things that are wrong, and try and hold on to the rope.
It's like a shot of Toradol or something. It's like adrenaline for the rest of the year. That's what these interim coaches are.
What you know about Toradol?
Come on, what don't I know about Toradol? I love you, Marcel. We have to go. I want come in studio.
When you having me in studio, we always talk about it.
Why don't you even tell me? You're over here to not telling me you work on Saturdays? Like, I don't know anything about you, Marcel.
I'm trying to work every day like you.